the shield. It was like on the side that the shield was coming down. So I remember they came through and I like patted Roman Reigns' like shoulder and I was like, oh my god, I touched Roman Reigns.
Hey everyone, it's me, Veda Scott, and we're back for Drawing Power. It's been a minute.
It has.
We were on a brief hiatus. But we're back. We're filming a bunch of episodes, and we're here at Deadlock Pro Wrestling. So I should be able to get some interesting characters. You being, of course, the most interesting at all. What? Interesting at all? This is off to a great start.
I'm the most interesting of all.
I am unable to speak, which is good because I have to talk for 3 hours today about a wrestling show. But you were highly requested.
Yay.
Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hyan, also known as the Renaissance Woman.
Hyan, the Renaissance Woman. We finally got you here in the Drawing Power bench. We're on a bench today.
Yeah.
Yeah, the set changes all the time. But
it's a cozy room, though.
Big news. We got new crayons. I bought a new box of, I believe it was 96. We still got the pencil sharpener. So anyway, premise of the show. We're going to have a little conversation. We're going to have a little chat, about 15 minutes or so. But I'm going to give you this pad of paper.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take my pad of paper. We're
like
gonna be doing some drawing. We're in close quarters here. We're in close quarters here, but it's okay. It's okay. But the thing is, normally I come up with a prompt that works thematically, but I want to try something new, and you're the first victim. So I found that there's apps, but I don't want to pay for it. So this is just a web page with ads. But it's a what to draw wheel.
Oh, and
you spin it, and then it tells you what you're gonna draw.
Oh, okay.
So you hit spin, and you'll decide what we're gonna draw. I think you just hit the middle there. Spin. It says a tiger.
Okay. That's
All right.
fun.
All right. So everyone knows what a tiger is. Can we draw it? Probably not. I have found that the main problem, because we'll talk about this in a second. I'm not artistically inclined anyway. I can see the tiger in my head right now. I know what he's supposed to look like. Oh man, I can visualize myself committing crayon to paper, and that's not what it's gonna look like when it's done.
Nope.
The other issue is when we're drawing the same thing, we're gonna be looking at the same colors, but that's okay. We can share. Sharing is an integral part of Drawing Power. So
But we have multiple shades.
we have multiple shades of orange, which is the typical tiger color. I'm not going to tell you what you should do.
Should I do an albino tiger?
I don't know. They have white tigers too, right?
Yeah.
But in my head, tiger is kind of a traditional sort of Tony the Tiger, Frosted Flakes sort of situation.
Yeah. Tiger King.
But I don't want to steer you in any direction.
Okay.
All right. So you're saying you're not artistic.
No, I'm not.
At all.
No, I'm really exposed.
So nothing. Like what? You're the Renaissance Woman, but that applies to pro wrestling and
I'm artistic in different ways.
Right. Okay.
In different ways. So I can knit.
Ooh.
And I play saxophone.
So
just can't draw.
What the fuck? Hold on. I'm not artistic. Yeah, we need qualifiers on this. 'Cause you're very artistic. Okay. So you can knit.
I can knit. Yes.
How long have you been able to knit?
I started when I was in college.
Okay.
Because I was poor, and I needed to give people like gifts for Christmas, and I was like, I think if I just like make it, it's probably more special. And I was like, surely knitting isn't hard. It's actually really hard. So I looked up some YouTube videos, and I learned how to like knit a scarf.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember when like infinity scarves were like really in.
Do I still own some infinity scarves? I certainly do.
I still do. So that's how I kind of like, I just started knitting. I think I knit like 5 or 6 of them, and I gave them out like for Christmas because I couldn't afford an actual gift.
Were they a hit?
Yeah, people really liked them. I still have mine. I even made like some for myself.
Sorry. Okay, so the crayon that I grabbed is called Neon Carrot, and it's not the color I want. So I'm going to keep dipping it.
I have this
red, orange.
Scarlet.
Okay, so you can knit. And the reason I asked when you started knitting is because it feels like, because I cannot knit, but I want to learn.
I heard crochet is easier.
I want to learn crochet first, I think. And it's something that's like been on the list, but I haven't managed to do it. But I feel like, yeah, like a YouTube tutorial might be good, because it seems to me when people can do like fabric crafts like that, either they decided to pick it up as an adult because it seems like a very like chill hobby.
Yeah, you could just literally like watch Netflix and just go.
Yeah,
like
or
mindlessly just do it.
My Grammy, my grandmother knit when I was a kid, and like she was just 24 hours a day those needles were clicking, and I didn't learn from her then, and I should have.
My mom, she can crochet, and but she never taught me either. My mom she can sew. She used to like hem all my pants when I was a kid, but she can't make wrestling gear, which is unfortunate.
It's hard. Spandex is a tough fabric. Because I can sew. I don't really do it anymore. But spandex is hard. But yeah, I feel like I should have learned from my grandmother, and I didn't, and now I really want to. But that gives me hope that you got it off of YouTube, and you can knit. Do you still do it sometimes?
Sometimes, but because I haven't been doing it consistently, I'll mess up. And then I'll just, like, rage quit. But
that makes sense, because it seems like you can, like, fuck up one stitch.
Yeah, and then the whole thing's messed up. Yes. So it's just, it can drive you crazy. Or sometimes you're like, I'll do 2 of these stitches and then 2 of these stitches. And since you're mindlessly, like, doing it, you can be like, oh, shit, what kind of stitch did I just do? Am I on the first one or the second one? And you're like, oh, let me just start all the way over and just do the whole line again. Mess. Yeah.
And you also, you also play the saxophone?
Yes.
Okay, so when did you start doing that? I have a feeling it wasn't just something you picked up in college.
No, I started when I was in 6th grade, because my older cousin, he played saxophone, and I thought it was really cool. And so when I got to middle school, and they're like, oh, pick your electives, I was like, well, I want to do band, and I want to play saxophone like my older cousin Johnny. And, I started doing that, and I played it all through middle school and high school, and I actually still have it, like, at my house.
Could you still play it?
Yes, I can still play it.
You absolutely can still play it?
There's footage of me, Penelope Ford has it, of me at a wrestling show, because Sabotage used to do talent shows as, like, a pre-show, and so the wrestlers would come out and do, like, their talent. So I remember, like, Shotzi came out and sang, and other people did, like, people danced or whatever, and I just, like, there's a video of me walking in the ring playing my saxophone.
Penelope Ford, we're going to need that footage.
She has it somewhere.
I will be in touch. Saxophone. So I've talked about this on the show before, because we've talked about playing instruments. I was a low brass player. Okay. Specifically, I played the baritone horn usually.
My best friend played the baritone.
Now, why did your best friend start playing the baritone? Do you know? Because a lot of times it's the same reason as the reason that I started playing.
I really don't know.
So, nobody ever wants to play low brass in the band. I started when I was in...
Did you want to do French horn?
I didn't want to do French horn. I wanted to do something that, like, it was a very small section so that I could, like, be first chair with little to no effort. And nobody wanted to play the baritone horn, because it's like it's not
stylish.
It's not a cute instrument, and the sounds it makes are, some would say, unpleasant. But that's why I started playing, and then I ended up loving it. And I'm sure if you handed me a baritone, I could still play it. Did you do like marching band, or did you do like orchestra, jazz band type of stuff? I
did marching band, and it's actually so funny because like I hated it. Because it's just, like, you're outside in, like, the Texas heat, like, practicing over this, like, hot parking lot. And, so I did it the first year, hated it, and I was like, I don't want to do this again. But, like, I like playing my instrument. I just don't like the marching part of it.
Same.
And so, I faked a kidney disease. And I said that I had a kidney disease, and I couldn't, march because my medication would make me sick in the sunlight.
Okay, we're gonna back it up. Back it up. Okay, so we need to explore this a little bit more. First of all, I think like lying to get out of something you don't want to do is a smart strategy, is one that I have employed throughout my entire life, and I think that's fine. However, the specifics here, were you using like real life experience to pull upon?
So, slightly. I had a UTI. Okay.
Okay.
And I was like, kidney disease. This is what I need. And I just made up the part where you can't be in sunlight. But I showed the band director. I was like, look, I'm on medication.
Yeah.
And they just didn't ask any questions.
They did not ask any questions. Rarely do people ask questions if you come in with confidence in your lie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm like not particularly good at lying unless it's, again, to get out of something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I love canceling plans, all of that. So
I love canceling plans.
I fucking respect the hell out of that. So no marching band, because, folks, if you've never been in a marching band,
it's brutal. It
fucking sucks. When I was in marching band, first of all, I was a chubby little meatball kid. I've said this before. I played softball and stuff, but it's a whole different ordeal when you're marching in formation with your giant instrument. It sucks. It's miserable.
I didn't just play alto. I played baritone saxophone.
That's a big boy.
So it's like if you put it on the ground, it like comes down up to here, and you have to strap. I didn't have like a chest strap. Like it's strapped to your neck. It's so uncomfortable. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
I'm taking this black crayon that I've
been
looking for like 5 minutes, and then this is not, what is happening? I was
hoarding it.
This is not good what's happening over here with my tiger. He is bad.
This is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, good. So maybe you are artistic. Okay, so we got saxophone. We got knitting. What else can you do? We'll get to pro wrestling in a second, but everybody knows that part. Is there any other talent you have? I know you said if we did a talent show, you'd bust out the saxophone.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like that's all I can think of for now. That jumps up in my brain.
So mostly now,
I'm really good at Legend of Zelda and Paper Mario.
So that's a skill as well. You've had Zelda themed like gear and aesthetics.
I have a tattoo.
You have a tattoo?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
You'd be surprised how many people in wrestling have the Triforce tattoo. It brings us all together.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense. It's because it's like the story of the game, I feel, is like very... It speaks to people who get into pro wrestling as well. But have you always been into games, or is that like a later thing too?
As a kid, I just copied everything my older cousin did.
Fair.
So he did saxophone.
Got you into saxophone?
He got me into the saxophone. He got me into playing like video games, and he got me into wrestling too.
Oh, was he a wrestler or just like a fan?
He was a fan. He actually wanted to be a wrestler, like wanted to like train, but he has epilepsy, so he was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, I think probably for the best. You don't want to hit your head.
So he got you into the wrestling fandom as well.
Yeah.
And you're wearing a sick t-shirt, by the way. Can we show that shirt up? Yeah, because you're like...
It's a DP Dub shirt.
It's a DP Dub shirt, and... Because you're not just like... You don't just wrestle. You're a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Who wrestles.
Yeah.
Which is a different thing. It's a different thing. And so when you were... How much time were you... Like, how much time passed between you started watching wrestling to... I'm gonna fucking do this?
I started watching when I was like 7 or 6.
Okay, don't train at age 7, probably. So I assume there was some time.
And I was like watching it like a lot.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to be a wrestler, but I didn't know like how does one become a wrestler. You can't really like put a job application in for that. You know, you don't go to college for it. And I was watching it, and I was really into it, and then I think around like middle school I stopped watching because it wasn't cool to watch.
That happens a lot. That's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the Drawing Power interviews that I do.
Yeah,
I feel like that happens a lot. We're like, now wrestling isn't cool, and honestly, I'm not 100% sure when you were in middle school, but there was a period of time where like WWE wrestling just fucking sucked.
It
sucked.
It was around that time.
It was not good.
It was around that time.
It was not good, and I feel like a lot of people fell out with that. But then obviously you got back into it again.
Yeah. when I was in college, I was like flipping the channels and I just saw it was on and I was like...
Knitting, probably, at the same time.
I probably was because it was college. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this in forever. And I just watched it and just never never turned it off. And then it was literally around the same time. I think I started watching again, and then I think like Total Divas debuted like 6 months later or something. And I was like, oh shit, like this is so cool.
Right.
I was very into Total Divas.
No, here's the thing. We, like, people laugh about Total Divas, but if you trace the trajectory of so many people who are successful professional wrestlers right now, particularly women, Total Divas was, like, groundbreaking.
It was.
Because, first of all, it showed, you know, like, it was
real people.
Real people. It was an interesting show, and it showed interesting people doing pro wrestling, but it also showed, like, obviously, it's reality TV, so, like, there's, like, fakeness to it, but it kind of, like, showed pro wrestling in a way that kind of explained to you how, like, oh, this is a thing that I could do. Like, there's a way to get into this.
Yeah.
And I truly, there's so many people that I talk to that Total Divas is either what made them aware of professional wrestling at all.
Yeah.
Or what made them think, hey, I could actually do this. So you watch Total Divas and you're like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm back.
Yeah, and they did, there was a TLC pay-per-view in Houston, and I think that's when it was like, the main event was Randy Orton and John Cena, and it was like to unify the belt. And I went to that because I was like, fuck it, let's do it. I haven't been there forever. And I went, and I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this.
Hell yeah.
I was literally the last person in Toyota Center because everyone had cleared out of the arena, and I was the last person in there.
You're like, my life has changed.
Yeah, and I think Mick Foley was there. I think he was on commentary or something. And he was getting up from the commentary table, like, walking back to Gorilla, and I see him, and I just, like, start waving at him like crazy, and he, like, waved back, and I was like, oh my god.
Does he know this story? Have you told him this story?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so someday you will tell him this story.
I also, I was like, I wanted to be front row, because I'd never been front row to, like, anything in my life. And so I got the front row tickets, and the Shield, it was, like, on the side that the Shield was coming down. So I remember they came through, and I, like, patted Roman Reigns' like, shoulder, and I was like, oh, my God, I touched Roman Reigns.
She hasn't washed that hand since.
I took a picture of my hands. I actually have it on my Facebook, because, like, he was slathered in baby oil. So
as they usually are.
So I, like, patted him on his shoulder, and I was like, ugh. Why is my hand
And you
all
still
greasy?
wanted to get into this. You were like, okay, it's a little disgusting, but I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that, to me, is wild. And I know it maybe just, like, as I say it, maybe it just sounds super simplistic, but, like, that pro wrestling... You can go to a show, you can be a fan your whole life, and then you can start training and you work really hard and then you fucking do it.
Yeah.
And like there's not a lot that like you can do the same way. Like you could be a big baseball fan, but if you're not like
started when you were 5,
right,
in T-ball.
Well, yeah, and like you're not in like the right baseball program and you're not like of a particular side, like you're not gonna play in the majors.
Yeah.
But like with pro wrestling, you can play in the majors.
You can make a spot for yourself.
You can make a spot for yourself, especially now, which I feel is something that you in particular have done. Like you are someone who truly, like, you're everywhere. You did long tours in Europe. You've been to Japan, and you've done it all independently, which is like that's pretty fucking cool.
I was listening to, actually, like, a couple days ago, me and my husband were driving to a bar, and I hooked up, like, my phone, and I was just, like, on shuffle, and Across the Nation came on, like, the theme song to Old Raw, and we were just, like, singing in the car, and I was like, dang, dude, if, like, 7-year-old me knew what I was doing right now, she would lose her shit. I'm so cool. You're
so cool to everyone. And it looks like are you about done with your tiger?
I am done.
We're about to find out if also you are hiding secret artistic talents.
Maybe.
Okay, so
I'm excited to see.
Generally,
yours.
I reveal mine first. This is okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it is certainly not a tiger.
Oh my god! It looks like
what I have drawn here is a demonic orange cat.
It looks. It's giving vampire.
Giving vampire.
I think it's eyes.
The eyes, which are gold for some reason. I couldn't remember. I was like, do tigers have like particular color eyes? I couldn't remember, so I went with gold.
Oh, I think they have the slitty eyes.
Yeah, this one doesn't. It has a giant neon pink nose. I don't know. It's not good.
It's art.
It's something. And I keep there's been a bunch of times where I try to draw these animals from like the side. I don't know. I have no grasp on perspective or anything like that.
The proportions are not correct.
It's not good.
He's a sturdy boy.
It's a sturdy boy. This is a big chunker. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily look like a tiger, but it's kind of an orange cat with like black, not even stripes, just sort of like swooshes. I don't know. What did you do?
I like mine.
Okay, you have so many of the integral tiger features that I have forgotten about.
I gave like a sun.
He's in
grass.
the sun. Like the furriness of it and the shorter ears. Like this is and whiskers. Oh, whiskers. I think would have helped.
Oh, I think it would have completed the look.
The tail is a lot. This is more of a tiger tail. This is like a tiger. I don't know. This is like a boomerang. I don't know. Again. Athena tried to make it a competition. There are no winners on Drawing Power, but if there were, I think this tiger would have won.
That's cute.
I like the fluffy clouds, and I like the grass and stuff too. I don't know.
I was like, he's so small on this page. I was like,
you gotta add more.
Yeah, I gotta add more.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
I gotta balance
sometimes
it out.
I draw the first thing, and then I realize that I've taken up 3/4 of the page with like an eye, and it's also not good. So okay, it's very cute. I don't necessarily know that. Okay, if we were gonna do a DPW talent show, maybe bust out the saxophone.
Yeah, I would bring it out.
Bust out the saxophone.
I just bought new reeds.
Yeah,
too.
maybe bust out the saxophone. Maybe not drawing.
I'll play Careless Whisper.
Wow. Okay,
we
might have to do a Drawing Power talent show because the talent is not drawing. Where can we find you if we want to follow you?
On Twitter. I still call it Twitter.
As you should.
The Hyan, TheHyan, and then _ the Hyan, and then on Instagram it's just the Hyan.
And we will follow your journey because it's freaking incredible.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. And next time you're like at a zoo or something and you see a tiger in real life, maybe you can sketch it. And
I'll take a selfie with it.
Let us know how it goes.
I'll send it to you.
All right. Thank you for joining us. I'm Veda Scott. This has been Drawing Power. We're back, baby, whether you like it or not.